Audrey Hepburn, the world remembers her as the symbol of elegance, the beauty star from Breakfast at Tiffany's with the iconic black dress and gentle smile. But what the world never saw was a dark, painful, and tragic life hidden behind that smile. Because long before camera ever loved her, Audrey was a starving war victim, a traumatized child who watched people die around her, a daughter abandoned by her father, and a woman who spent her whole life trying to escape a past that refused to let her go. Today, we are going to uncover the story that Hollywood tried to hide, the story that Audrey herself never wanted to talk about. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will never look at Audrey Hepburn the same way again. But before we dive into today's stories, if you enjoy dark, strange, and mysterious storytelling, then you're in the perfect place because that's what we specialize in, and we post new uploads every week. So if that sounds good to you, quietly break into the likes button's house and swap out the pillow filling with solid concrete. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. Alright, let's jump into it. Audrey wasn't born into fame, glamour, or success. She was born in Belgium in 1929, just months before the outbreak of the Great Depression. Her parents, once wealthy, believed strongly in strict discipline, and Audrey grew up quiet, terrified of making mistakes. But things got much worse. When Audrey was 6 years old, her father suddenly walked out on the family. No goodbye, no explanation, nothing. He simply disappeared. Audrey later said, "It was the most traumatic event of my life. I have never felt more abandoned." That wound never healed. It shaped every relationship she ever had. But abandonment was only the beginning. In 1940, when Audrey was just 11, Nazi Germany invaded the Netherlands, where she was living at the time. The peaceful childhood she once knew vanished overnight. Bombs shook the streets, soldiers patrolled every corner. People were dragged away from their homes and never seen again. Audrey watched people starve, freeze, and collapse in the streets. Children she knew shot during resistance action. Food became almost impossible to find. To survive, Audrey ate grass and whatever scraps she could steal. She became so weak that she could barely walk. Her bones stuck out, her muscles collapsed, her body stopped growing like a normal child's. The world would later call her famous slim figure, beautiful. But the truth was so heartbreaking. It was the result of starvation and war trauma. During the occupation, Audrey secretly helped the Dutch resistance movement. She used her talent for ballet to perform in the underground shows, raising money for soldiers and hiding messages in her shoes. The danger was extreme. If she was caught, she would have been executed instantly. One day, Audrey watched German soldiers round up a group of young boys, many her friends, and forced them into trucks headed to the concentration camps. She was powerless. She hid behind a tree, covering her mouth so she wouldn't scream. Every night, she had gunshots in the distance. Her nightmare continued for the rest of her life. By the time the war ended, Audrey was severely malnourished. The doctor said she might never recover fully. Her body was permanently damaged, respiratory illness, and lifelong stomach problems. She once said, "I still have nightmares about being hungry." But the darkest part was that she blamed herself for surviving when so many around her died. After the war, Audrey tried to rebuild her life. She studied ballet in London, dreaming of becoming a professional dancer. But when teachers examined her war-damaged body, they told her something devastating. "You will never be strong enough to become a ballerina." Everything she had worked for was shattered. To survive financially, Audrey turned to modeling and eventually acting. Her natural beauty and grace attracted the attentions of filmmakers, and almost overnight, she became a global star. Roman Holiday, Sabrina, Funny Face, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Hollywood worshipped her. But behind every glamorous red carpet moment, Audrey was drowning. Studio executives constantly pushed her to stay extremely thin, not knowing or not caring that she was already struggling with eating disorders caused by her childhood starvation. She suffered multiple miscarriages because her body was so fragile. She cried in silence, hiding pain from everyone around her. She said, "Success is not what you see. My biggest battle are those ones no one knows about." Her relationships was complicated and painful. She married twice, both marriages filled with fights, disappointment, and betrayal. She never felt loved. She never felt safe. Because deep inside, she was still the abandoned child, begging to be held. At the peak of her success, when the world expected more movies, Audrey suddenly disappeared from Hollywood. People were shocked. Nobody understood why. The truth was simple. She didn't want fame anymore. She wanted peace. So she dedicated the rest of her life to helping starving children around the world through UNICEF. She traveled to dangerous war zones and disaster-stricken countries. She held dying children in her arms and sat in death, fed them, watched them, and cried for them. She said, "I have a duty to help children because I was once in their place. Even when doctors begged her to stop because her body was breaking down, she refused to rest. In 1992, Audrey was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive abdominal cancer. Doctors said that she only had few months left. She returned to her home in Switzerland, surrounded by flowers, mountains, and quiet, the peace she long waited for. She spent her final days thanking the people she loved. No cameras, no fame, just silence. On January 20th, in 1993, Audrey Hepburn passed away at the age of 63. The world mourned a Hollywood icon, but very few understood the horrific suffering she survived just to get there. Audrey Hepburn wasn't just a movie star, she was a survivor of war, starvation, abandonment, depression, and illness. She taught the world something powerful. You never know the battle someone is fighting behind their smiles. If you respect what she endured, drop a love in the comments. And if you're a fan of strange, dark, and mysterious storytelling, do well to smash that subscribe button. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our upload. Catch you on my next video. Thanks for watching.